reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 216. I'm Chris and I'm joined as always by the wonderful, the ever so enlightened Mr. at MMO Bill himself. Hello Bill.
Oh, hello. Oh, I was hoping you were going to say the ever so wonderful Harry Hall.
No, Harry is still the star of stage and screen, killing it apparently in the Netherlands and doing some pretty awesome stuff. So can't wait to have him back, but happy to see all the good stuff that he's doing over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally remember that guy. He's great.
That's the guy with no pants, right?
No, that's the other guy.
Oh,
I miss him too. It's been a while since we talked to him.
That's Jeff, right?
Jeff. Jeff.
No, Steve.
Jarvis.
Steve.
Jarvis.
No, Steve. I hate that guy.
No, yeah, we don't like him. Jesus. No, that's someone totally different. Dang it.
Lanyard Nor?
Yeah, something like that. Let's get the intern on it.
Yeah,
get the intern on it. He'll figure it out.
Maybe Steve will actually do some work and find that out for us by the next week's show.
Let us know for next week. Yeah,
I've been meaning to ask, how is your camping trip going? It sounds like the wilderness is absolutely fantastic.
We actually have a cricket farm in my house now. We're raising them. Crickets are a delicacy in some parts of the world, and it's just that's what you get when you live out in the wilderness. They're singing the song of their people. So,
well, go ahead.
It's the precursor. This is how unfunny this podcast is going to be. We've got the track already built in.
So we say the joke and
exactly.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Crickets, for filling in. That is actually Steve in the corner rubbing two blades of grass together. Quiet, Steve. All right, so let's get talking about some actual game stuff. We do have some news to talk about this week. So, Bill, why don't we start? We've been away for a couple weeks. We decided that that life was too harsh, too bitter. We were too cynical last week, and we're unfortunately unable to podcast. So what have you been doing for the last couple of weeks, Bill?
Well, the last couple of weeks, I have been learning so much about how to deploy Office 365. Let me tell you, it was the least fun game I've ever played in my entire life.
Yeah.
But I actually did play a little bit of games. I played Guild Wars 2, shockingly enough. I have yet another level 80. I got my Mesmer. The Mesmer I actually rolled up 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, for our Extra Life game. So our Extra Life game night, and
cool.
And so the character's now officially 80, and so that was fun. I've got like 5 80s now. It's starting to get silly. Well, the way I play, and I'm starting to think I'm doing it wrong. As soon as I get a character to 80, I just move on to another alt. And that's not really the way. I mean, you can play Guild Wars 2 that way, but it's not really the best way for Guild Wars 2 because a lot of people moan about how no end game in Guild Wars 2, blah, blah, blah. But there is a whole new meta and a whole new style of play that opens up when you get to level 80 in Guild Wars 2. And like you get better gear rolls. You get there's whole new zones that are actually accessible, like Silver Waste and Dry Top. And I can't remember what it's called, but the whole Karka Island and everything like that.
Right.
And they have commensurately.
There you go. Big words, Bill. Big words.
Get the intern on that thesaurus for me. I think we need an intern, by the way. You get better loot, and it's all there. It's a whole different grind. So I think I need to change my play style up, and because I'm still having fun. Don't get me wrong. I 580s is enough for now.
I think so too. That's getting a little obscene.
Yes. Speaking of obscene, the new elite spec for Guild Wars 2 was announced too. The Necromancer elite spec is going to be called the Reaper, which is kind of a melee take on the Necromancer, which is kind of an interesting thing. Because for those of you that don't know, the Necromancer is a cloth casting class, but it's also its main mechanic is one that actually lends itself quite well to melee. You actually can transform into kind of this death shroud type form where you become like a shrouded necro ghost or something like that. And it gives you a whole new health bar and a whole new set of abilities and everything like that. And it's actually quite a cool little metamorphosis. So the Reaper is all geared around changing that metamorphosis and making that a little bit more tanky and physical and everything like that. So it's actually kind of I could see it being an interesting take. The new weapon is a great sword, which is something that they never had before. So I think the only casting class in all of Guild Wars 2 that can't use a great sword now is the Elementalist.
Ellie, yeah.
So, which is curious.
Yeah. And the chill mechanic, of course, will be very worthwhile for them to be able to stop their foes.
They've got a bunch of chill abilities already, which is cool. But seriously, you're not going to jump on that pun?
Nope.
Oh. Where are the crickets now?
Exactly. I was waiting for it. You didn't leave, Bill. I'm disappointed. I'm sad, in fact. No, and as...
Actually, apparently they're laughing. So.
Ken from Chicago says, just reminding us that right in their first MMO manifesto, ArenaNet advertised there would not be an end game. But it's not that there's no end game. It's that it's just not different. There is an end game. There is a game. When you hit, it's not like you hit 80, you've won the game, and you go start over again. It just doesn't change at 80. It just morphs a little bit to different stuff.
It is a different style. You don't have a progression, but the game does change when you're level 80. You get different goals. Your character development changes, the arc changes, everything like that. So, yes, I agree with Ken, but I don't think I'm entirely wrong either.
No, but as the chat room says, I am correct. So we'll just leave it at that. Move on, Bill. Moving on. I'm correct. Move on.
Yes. I feel like we're married. Yes, dear, you're right. Anyway,
you know what? Wait. One quick second. You know, Bill, that there's actually something that we have for this moment, don't you?
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. We have that. It's ready to go here.
Yes, dear. Oh, I didn't even know. I feel like I'm. Oh, geez, I have my own drop. I'm getting all teary now. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? You just need to
calm the F down.
Oh, I remember that one. I remember that guy. He was on the show once, wasn't he?
Yeah, with no pants. No, wait, that's the wrong guy.
Oh, I said.
We're confused, Bill.
Yeah, I still feel like we got the wrong guy. Anyway, so in with big thanks, obviously, to Muteki, who's been the fantastic sponsor of the show for us so far. I actually started playing Dragon Fantasy over the last couple of weeks, and I'm actually it's cheesy but fun. Like it is a complete throwback to 90s console RPG, turn-based gaming type thing, Final Fantasy style, Dragon Warrior style, that kind of thing. And it's just cheesy fun. I like it. It's actually I played with my kids sitting around me. They thought that they thought the graphics were cute and adorable, and I was trying to explain to them that used to be really good. But
I want to mention something because I'm going to talk about it too because I've been playing it on Vita. But I'm actually going to quote, and I hope this is okay with Brian from Muteki, but I'm gonna quote that because I feel that we need to, because we're going to talk, at least I'm going to talk quite positively about it. He said in his email to me, and just to reiterate, I in no way expect positive reviews or holding back of negative feedback. Play the game if you like it, comment on it or not if you feel like it. We paid to be mentioned as a sponsor, not for a review or lack thereof. I just think that is freaking awesome. That he would go out of his way to mention that so that there was not even the hint of impropriety, so to speak, or the implied, you know what I mean? Like, it's not the first time he mentioned that too. So I just think that's really cool. So I'm going to say that because I'm going to say I'm having a blast. I had 2 12.5-hour bus rides. I had my Vita with me. I played me some Dragon Fantasy, and it's like grind-tastic, at least the way that I have been playing it. I have just been going out, and I should really. I've only played it on the Vita. I'll try it again on the PC to see what this updated version, because it's kind of a remastered version that you get on PC. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. Are you like do you know what I mean by like grind-tastic? Like it's just you go out, kill stuff, and
It's not like high theater that's going to engage you and have you be just singing the praises as being like the top 10 stories you've ever played or anything like that. But it's fun to sit down. It's easy to just jump in and accomplish things and do stuff. You're doing a lot, like the fights are all very similar. There is some strategy to it, but we're not talking like over the top planning or anything like that. But it's a fun. It would be a perfect game on a tablet or something like that. I'm playing it on my PC and enjoying it, but like you say, playing it on the Vita, playing it mobile, it's a game that's really well suited for that. So I'm enjoying it. I think if you ever were a fan of those old like the early Final Fantasy and the early console type RPGs and that kind of thing, this is a nice throwback game for you, and I would recommend checking it out.
Yeah, and if you're worried about the download and the time it took for that conversation, I just downloaded it on Steam and it's ready to go.
I'm surprised it took you that long. It was near instant for me.
Yeah, it's and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really fantastic. And I've only got, like, I didn't spend all 24 hours of bus ride on it. I maybe spent a few hours on it. So I'm really early days in the game, and it's fun. And if you've got a Vita, I think it was like $9 on the Vita to get through there. So that was really cool. I'm just looking to see how much it is on PC. It's $10, $10.99 on PC. Well worth $10 in my humble opinion.
Ooh, I wonder if it'll be in the Humble Bundle someday.
It'd be a good fit for like a 8-bit gaming sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And speaking of small downloads, the precise opposite of small downloads would be Star Trek Online. I updated that again, and I actually jumped in and played that. And it had been so long since I played Star Trek Online that I decided I was just going to nuke and start over from absolute scratch. So I have my Starfleet engineer fired up and gone through the tutorial and everything like that, and had a lot of fun there too. It's a little bit like Lord of the Rings Online in that it feels like the source material. I realize there's a bunch of liberties in there and everything like that, but I still get my little Star Trek-y, what's the word I'm looking for? The vibe, the intrinsic thingy dingy that comes from it. I liked it. It was fun. I'm going to keep playing and pop in there from time to time.
You know what I like to do in Star Trek Online?
What's that?
I like to blow shit up. That's what I do. Of course. Yeah. That's kind of, I just do the space combat. And then I love the story. My favorite one is the one that has you going back to the time and interacting with the original series cast. And that's way, way long. That's maybe like 3 years ago old of a story mission. But they used to release they still do release these stories in episodes sort of thing. It was really cool. Bill, do you have Delta Recruit? Do you have a Delta Recruit?
I have no idea what a Delta Recruit is, actually, so that probably says something.
Oh, there you go.
No, like I'm really new still to Star Trek Online. I have been new for about 3 years, so let's put it that way, I guess.
It's like your Eve skills.
Oh, no, I mean, I actually played Star Trek Online. Eve, I just almost played.
Have you never played it, ever?
I think I installed it once, and I fired it up and logged in, and that's about as far as I ever got with Eve.
Yeah. That is hilarious. All right, is that everything that's been keeping you busy?
That's been pretty much my gaming week. Yeah. And I assume you must have played at least a little bit more.
You know, it's not this past week. Today a little bit, and then I've been on the road. Like I said, I had 24 hours worth of busing, and then, 3 days in a different city. I did, however, and this is fun, I did remote play my PS4 from my hotel room in another province, which would be another state for those of you or another country if you're in Europe. And that kind of went well. It was kind of fun. I played a mission in Destiny, and then I went to bed because I was falling asleep. Delta Recruit is a new character who's aided by a time travel guy from the future. You had to create a new character in the last 2 months that went through the tutorial. So there you go. I take it that's not you then.
No, I just missed the boat on that, I guess.
Aww.
Oh, well, timing is everything.
Yep, that's me, like me and the Hulkbuster. If you logged in on a specific day, you got the Hulkbuster. I totally remembered that after the fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, too bad.
I know. I'm a horrible person. You had to, yeah. All right. So as for me, I've been playing some WildStar. I went in, checked out all the new content with the new drop that we discussed on the last podcast, and really enjoyed it. Did all of sort of one round of the daily quests before I headed off to my travels. So I went through it. I got a group, did all the quests for that zone. It's really nice. It's densely packed. It's got good quests. It is just kind of another daily quest zone, another rep to grind. So, and I bombed around. The Hollow wardrobe, absolutely fantastic. The only downside is it costs you, it's a money sink. Every time you want to add an item into the Hollow wardrobe, cha-ching, you got to pay. Contracts, fun little bursts of other stuff to do while you're doing stuff. Like it might be kill so many infected, kill this many of that in this zone, do this, and some of it might be complete all the daily quests in this zone. Some of it might be kill this particular world boss. So it's all sort of stuff like that, right? And so that's a pretty good system, and the rewards were somewhat upgrading for me as I went down, because what it is you get kind of XP or points, and then as you get higher and higher, you get better and better rewards going up that sort of contract ladder. Plus, you get a currency that you can use to buy stuff. So the contract system was good. The game was solid, smooth, no bugs, no anything like that. So it's a really, really great experience in WildStar right now. But if that's why you didn't like WildStar, you need to come back. If you didn't like the bugs, didn't like that sort of experience, they fixed some of the big issues, like they've changed 40 mans to 20 mans. They've made the attunement process a lot simpler. They're even making a pass at making dungeons a little bit easier to complete. not a ton, but a little bit, which is a huge step for them because this was the thing about WildStar. You remember how many times you can go through all of our old WildStar videos. This was all about, nope, it's hardcore. We're going to keep hardcore. And surprise, it didn't fly. So if you didn't like the mechanics of the combat and stuff, nothing's changed there. This is still the same game. But if all those sort of other issues were what kept you out of WildStar, you need to go back. You need to try it out. There's a lot of discussion as well, and I have not had a reply to any questions that I've asked about this. There were some people that found some codes in the Steam database, and they're kind of inferring from the way that the codes were all laid out that possibly WildStar might be looking at a pay-to-play or a free-to-play model in the summer. And I have mixed feelings, as I do with every game that goes free-to-play. It saves games. I have no doubt that Lord of the Rings, for example, would have gone under. Perhaps even the entire company of Turbine would have gone under had Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings not gone free to play as they did. But there's so much annoyingness in there. The Lotro is a particularly bad example of this with the constant splash screens of buy this, buy that, even if you're subscribed. That's not a great implementation. I think Guild Wars 2 probably does the best buy-to-play implementation that we've seen out there. SWTOR is better now. It was probably one of the worst when it came out as a free-to-play transition, even worse than Lotro.
Oh, yeah.
But, I've got mixed feelings. I really, really do, because I'm willing to pay for WildStar, but, it changes a game. And I kind of like WildStar, and I hope that if it's the difference for me, though, if it's the difference between it going free to play or buy to play, or shutting down, go free to play. This is a game that needs to be out there. It offers a completely different style of combat, way more action based than anything else, just really fun. Oh, and sorry, just one last thing. Braxwolf in the chat room says the ESO did a pretty good job. Yeah, they did a pretty okay job. Really unobtrusive store for that game as well, and doesn't feel like you have to subscribe to get a good experience there.
Well, and I really think that's probably where the middle ground lies. Like, I think, I from what I've seen from games coming out over the last couple of years and converting over the last couple of years, there's a good middle ground to be had with the pay to play, which is buy the box, play for free forever, buy expansions and that in the future and that kind of thing. That's, I think, a suitable enough barrier to entry that you actually get a lot of the cruff that comes with a completely free to play game, where you get a lot more trolls, you get a lot more bots, and kind of the underbelly of the MMOs out there, that kind of thing. That that's limited a little bit when you at least have that purchase barrier at the start of it, but there's still a lot of freedom. And again, I keep banging the Guild Wars 2 drum. I wind up playing Guild Wars 2 the most, but I also am really comfortable taking a break from it. Like, it's not an emergency. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out or I'm not getting my money's worth there or anything like that. It's something that I've bought, and it's just very comfortable to know that it's just always there and easy to jump into and everything like that. So I almost would hope that that's the trend that things go. Like, even if your buy to play is like, if you sell your game for $10, bang, done. You've already probably got a much more engaged community. You've eliminated the ease to have hackery and that kind of thing, or at least diminished it. Right. And I don't know. It's a big improvement for the community, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Something there, but back to WildStar. It's, if you get a chance, go check it out. spend $15, get a month subscription, and see if it tickles your fancy, because I'm sure enjoying my time back in it. And I'll be spending some more time here in the coming weeks checking out all the new stuff and running some dungeons. I've been in Destiny, of course, with Heart of Wolves launching. I'm not a high enough level yet to play that content yet. I'm still working through Darkness Below, I believe his name is the last one. So I'm just like light level 24, I think it is. So I'm level 24. I'm not that good yet, but I'm having fun. It's really good. I like I said, I remote play it on my Vita. Played some Neverwinter on the Xbox. We'll have some news about that in a little bit. Really sad about the community, especially on the Xbox, about the kicking epidemic that's happening right now. Players are finding they run a dungeon, and as the boss is about 9/10 dead, people in the group will initiate a kick of one member of the group or several members of the group, and as long as they have a majority, boom, that person's done. They get kicked. They don't get to roll on the loot at the end, and that increases the chances for the other people in the group. And it's actually quite an issue with the Xbox version of Neverwinter, which is unfortunate. The most unfortunate thing, I think, is that it's going to, without doubt, I'm already seeing it saying, well, it's console gamers, what do you expect? Which is unfortunate, because I don't think that I'm a console gamer too. I'm PC and console, so am I a bad person because I play on consoles? You know what I mean? Like that's just too bad.
Yeah, that's not obviously that's not a limiting factor of itself. I'm surprised that that's a thing. Like, how do you sleep at night after you've played like that? That you've basically just being the biggest dick that you can possibly be. You've actually got to live with yourself after that. And I mean, the person who gets kicked rages and gets mad and either tries again or quits the game or whatever. But as the person who stayed in the group, you've got to carry that dickishness forever. That seems like such a heavy burden.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna show just real quick here. Here we go. I'm just gonna pop it over here. There we go. So there's some 1.6 players have jumped into Neverwinter since it launched on Xbox.
1.6 players.
1.6 million players.
There we go. That's
Did I forget
more
the
impressive.
million?
Yes.
86 million minutes played, 10 million parties formed, 1 billion enemies slain, and over 1,000 dragon. And 92 elite players have killed over 1,000 dragons each.
And Neverwinter is free to play on Xbox, right?
It's on PC as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew on PC.
You need gold, but yeah, I just thought that was really cool. I'm enjoying my time in Neverwinter. More on Xbox than on PC, surprisingly enough. I just wish it's behind. I wanted to play a Paladin, but that's only on the newest expansion for Elemental Evil for PC, and it's not on Xbox yet. So can't wait for that, because I'll roll up Paladin, which is, of course, like Marvel Heroes, I'm slowing down to level because I want to play that other character, so why would I level the one I've got now much further? You know what I mean? Like, anyways, you don't know what I mean.
No.
But I did play Marvel Heroes, too. Played Captain America for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got your Hulkbuster yet?
Shut up. Nope.
Your spider, I mean? Or you mean...
Jerk. No, I have not. It was okay, I'll admit it. I only played while I was waiting for other games to patch. As soon as they patched, I quit.
You do that too, eh? Every once in a while, I get a moment and I think, I could actually play something for an hour. Let's try this. Oh, 1 gig of patch. Ooh, here's 10 gigs of patching. Oh, finally, it's like MMO roulette. Eventually, there's one that doesn't need a patch, and I play that.
Or whichever one finishes patching first.
Yeah, it's the race. Who's got the fattest pipes?
Yeah. I know, Braxwolf, you've got the Hulkbuster. I saw on Twitter. Thanks. That was you, wasn't it? Yeah. I was a little bit. Yeah, it was Braxwolf. I just checked. Thanks a lot. All right, so we're going to move on, talk about our Patreon. We are Bill. This is so exciting. We are one away from 30 patrons. We have 29 patrons for a total of $115 per month. Thank you so much to our patrons. You are absolutely fantastic. Now, we are getting up close to PAX. And we would love to minimize the amount of sponsorship that we need to get so that it goes as quickly into our videos as possible, but it does cost us a fair chunk of money to attend PAX. So if you could take it a moment, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/MMO Reporter and help us get to PAX. That would be incredibly helpful. Go check it out, patreon.com/MMO Reporter.
Killed lots of monsters and found some awesome loot. I had some great fun in this week's beta. And I grew attached to my little virtual dude. So I ask, please don't delete my guy after beta.
Holy. So it's this isn't really like hot news or anything like that, but it's a story that I grabbed onto because it annoyed me. So World of Warcraft, there was a little Polygon interview / preview for the 6.2 patch that's coming up, which advances the storyline in the new Draenor and everything like that, which is interesting. It's actually it's a decent article if you're looking to see what's coming up in 6.2, especially if you've left the game for the last couple months, which apparently like half the world has done. But anyway, apparently coming up in 6.2, it's been confirmed by Blizzard that they're not going to be adding flying into the game. Now, flying is something that they removed in the whole Draenor area, obviously since the expansion's released, and every patch or ever since that's happened, people have been talking, oh, when are you going to add flying in? Where's flying? It's got to be coming soon, right? Flying. And Blizzard has basically taken the stance that, no, we're not flying in there. We want people to be running around in the world, exploring the nooks and crannies, facing the challenges that we've put into Draenor, and using the handy-dandy flight network that we've established that we believe is very robust and should allow you to get anywhere you want to go quickly without all this moaning and crying about flying. To which I say, to put it bluntly, I mean, it's just crazy. You know, I mean, flying has been a feature that's been introduced into World of Warcraft since what? It was Wrath of the Lich King, if I remember right. So
it was not actually. It was Burning Crusade.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. So Burning Crusade. So we're going back now, what, 7 years? About?
Yeah.
For Burning Crusade?
First expansion.
So for 7 years.
8 years, because it's 10 years old, and it was 2 years after the first one that Burning Crusade launched.
Pardon me. So this has been how people have gotten around basically forever. And they've had these little blackout periods. If I remember in Pandaria, they had a flying blackout period or a big hefty gate that you had to get through in order to be able to fly in Pandaria and everything like that. And they've actually, that's one of the in-game purchases that you can make with real money and that kind of too, is exotic flying mounts and everything like that. And now they're basically taking the tack like, oh, yeah, you don't need to fly. Nobody likes flying. People prefer to run around and do stuff on the ground. We know this. That's why we're forcing you to do it.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Well, and to me, I understand their point. The example that's in the story is a rescue mission. Somebody before, when you're stuck to the ground, would have to fight their way into where the rescue person they need to rescue is, rescue the person, and fight their way out. With a flying mount, you fly in, you drop in the middle, you rescue the person, you fly out again. But there's a couple different ways that they could get around this I'm sure they thought about it, but it just seems like The word that comes to mind is lazy design, but that's not the words I want to use. I just can't think of better words. There's ways that they could, if they don't want it during questing, fine. The final quest of the main world story gives you an item that lets you fly in this area. Done. You are questing through your 100 levels, and you can't fly. Right. Your whatever levels for the expansion or zone, or they could even do it per zone. Right. Or they design the areas so that they don't want you to fly. Fine. There's tunnels. It's inside a castle. It's something. It's not just open world. It can be done.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is, they talk about it as like they're granting people this great opportunity to explore the world and that kind of thing. I explored more of World of Warcraft from the air than I ever did on the ground. And it was more fun in the air than it ever was on the ground. Like, I don't get why this is, it blows my mind that this is a thing that they actually believe that people want. And I think if you were to make the mistake and actually jump into the forums, you'd probably find a group of people that are actually interested in having no flying in the game or want flying out of the game. But right. It seemed it was such a great thing when it was added, and to me, it made the game a more fun and interesting game to play, and now they're just deprecating it for questionable reasons. Like it feels like straw man arguments they're setting up to say that you don't need flying for reason X, reason Y, reason Z. So I'm a little disappointed in that. So yeah, that was my little whine. It's my show too, so I'm gonna whine on my show. Leave me alone. The good thing, though, is it did kind of lead me down the rabbit hole and starting to read a little bit more about patch 6.2 and everything like that. And there is some pretty neat stuff coming through in the patch. Just none of it is flying in Draenor. They've got the whole vibe of the story is kind of they're setting it up to do like a full circle thing. Like there's what's old is new, which is old again. Or what's new is old.
Everything old is new again. Everything Sorry, it's a Bare Naked Ladies song.
Just like the song. So, so I mean, they've got Gul'dan taking over the Horde again, which is crazy recurrence because, of course, Gul'dan was a key character back in the Burning Crusade when we visited Draenor there. They've got Hellfire Citadel coming back. But
Sorry, just background.
Oh, yeah. Hellfire Citadel is coming back as a raid now, so it's not just reintroducing the same old dungeon. They're actually doing the raid again. I'm kind of curious to see if the raid does at least nod to the old dungeon here or there, either with bosses or with...
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Areas or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. And then the big one that's getting a lot of talk is the whole time walking feature, which is going to include, basically it's going to be weekend events that allow you to run old dungeons in kind of a down-leveled state, but allows you to run it at a tier or a difficulty level called Mythic, which is going to allow you to get pretty top-end gear from it. So if you're willing to run this greater difficulty level on these old dungeons, then sorry, I should qualify that to say the dungeons aren't actually more difficult. The reason it's more difficult is because they actually downgrade and down level your gear and your stats so that you operate at a level that's appropriate for that particular dungeon, which is an interesting tack on it. So, I mean, they're basically, it seems like they're really beating the nostalgia drum in World of Warcraft these days. And I mean, why not? I mean, it's it was the game 10 years ago or 8 years ago that really took off, whereas now it's just one of 100 that are out there. So why wouldn't you try to call people back to the time when you were king of the universe, basically?
And plus, some of that old gear looks really cool. So it'll be another way to get it without and not wasting your time. And when you get through, you're still going to get the same loot that you got way back when, but it's going to scale it up, like you were saying, to that higher level gear. So it's cool.
Yeah, so like eye level 685 and even 700 in some cases.
Whoa.
Gear.
Whoa.
I know, right?
That's pretty cool. Yep, and you've got a link to in the show notes to the apparently tome-like PTR notes.
Oh yeah, so this is basically the status of the PTR right now, and there's tons of information in there if you're looking to read up on patch 6.2.
Yep. All right, we're going to mention our sponsors real quick. Audible. Go to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter to get your favorite books on audiobook. They are an absolutely fantastic company to go through. Doghouse Systems, use the coupon code MMO Reporter, and you're going to get a free 120 gigabyte SSD with your purchase. That's awesome. And of course, as we mentioned before, Muteki was our PAX East sponsor. You should go check them out and check out Dragon Fantasy on Steam, to which we'll have a link in the show notes.
More than deeps is all you have to do to make the raid. Then you wouldn't have to say that you pew pew, 'cause I don't ready.
All right, Bill, I've got some news for you about Neverwinter, as promised earlier.
Cool.
Yes, so they've announced a new expansion called Strongholds. Now, I did send an email asking if this was going to be released at the same time for Xbox and PC, but I have not heard back by the time we recorded this. Neverwinter Strongholds, this is their little blurb in their post. Are you ready? Neverwinter Strongholds empowers guilds to reclaim a keep and its surrounding areas that have been overrun by the wild. As the lands are cleared, guilds will build defenses both in and around their strongholds using structures like barracks and additional troops armed to protect the keep. Once the keep has been secured, guilds will have to battle against the environment as well as the other players to ensure they maintain control of their lands. I did it without coughing.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, that was tough. Sorry, water.
Tired thinking about it.
Yeah, that's hard on the throat. This is actually something very, very similar to Star Trek Online. They have fleet holdings in Star Trek Online, and I'll have a link to a couple of articles on the Star Trek wiki about it. But there they get star bases, and they can hold them, and then dilithium mines and a couple of other things that they can get as part of that. But they cost a ton of resources to maintain and keep, like a ton. And what you do basically is you get the sort of basic one, and then you do missions and stuff specifically attached to that starbase. So I'm guessing strongholds for the Neverwinter one, and then you level it up to a bigger and bigger keep, I guess it's going to be. And I'm inferring all this stuff. This is not the first time that something from Star Trek Online has ended up in Neverwinter. The whole Foundry system was based in Star Trek Online first and then got transferred over to Neverwinter. It is the same company, so they transfer a lot of resources there. So I'm guessing this is a similar system. It sounds like a really, really great idea, but from my research shows that the player base is really divided in Star Trek Online because of the high cost. If you don't have a very substantial fleet, which is the Star Trek Online version of guilds, you are not going to be super successful with this. Similar to like the Guild Wars 2 guild missions, right? And the stuff that you could unlock and stuff like that. If you don't have a huge guild, it's going to be tough to participate in it. I think this might be a little bit better than the Guild Wars 2 system, but I still think this is going to be something that is going to work great for large guilds and is not going to scale so well for smaller guilds, unfortunately. It is a pretty cool group mechanic, though, to get people working. You remember the gates of whatchamahoosit in WoW, how much the entire server would work together for that. So something smaller scale like this for guilds is, I think, a good idea. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah,
is this going to get you into Neverwinter?
By itself, no, because like you said, if the prerequisite is being a member of a big guild, I have a hard enough time getting into big guilds in the games that I play frequently. So I don't think this is the feature that would drag me into Neverwinter. I mean, Neverwinter is a good game on its own. There's a bunch of other things that I like about Neverwinter that make me wish I played it more, but yeah, I don't know if Strongholds are going to be what does it for me.
You know, I saw a really, really great comment about Neverwinter for PC. And that was that there's nothing that Neverwinter does particularly wrong. But there's also nothing that it does particularly right. It just does. Does that make sense?
Yep, it's a good game.
But we don't have time for good games. We only really have time for great games because there's so much choice now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
No, that's the problem is that all games are just good. People have figured out what have worked in other games and mirrored it or copied it or morphed it into their own thing. It's tough to find that game that really separates itself. It's all very homogenized right now. Yeah. And I think that's, I mean, I the whole state of the MMO industry right now, I blame on the fact that the whole AAA titles going flat in MMO space has contributed to the fact that nobody wants to risk anything in that space anymore. So you get a whole lot of homogenization and everything like that, which I mean is practical, but it's also a little bit boring for the consumers and the players. So I'm waiting for that next turn. And I think what we're seeing, and we've talked about this in the past, I'm getting a little bit meta now. This is not Neverwinter. This is now the entire gaming industry. But I think as we're starting to step into this new breed or this crowdfunded style of MMO that's starting to pop up here and there and everywhere, that's, I think, hopefully going to bring back some of the innovation and the willingness to take some risk and that kind of thing. So I'm patiently waiting is essentially what I'm saying for that phase to really seriously kick in, like the new Camelot game. Dang it, I really should remember what it is, but of course Crowfall and that kind of thing coming out. I think that's where we're going to see the new bits or the new hotness.
I'm just getting some background music for you here as you step up onto the back of that pickup truck and grab that megaphone and tell the aliens that this is our Independence Day. Oh wait, no, wrong bit. Sorry. You had that vibe going, Bill. That was really good.
That's adorable that you think that I was Will Smithing.
No, not Will Smithing. Do you not know movies?
It was Bill Pullman, wasn't it?
Thank you very much.
It was even a Bill. I should have known. I can't. I couldn't believe it. I can believe. I thought for a moment I thought it was Will Smith giving that speech.
Yeah.
But it's Bill Pullman who did it very well.
He did. This is our Independence Day. I can almost. I can't. Like when I watch that movie, and I watch it an obscene amount of times. When he gets up there, I can follow along with him and I can recite it with him. But right now, I just can't. I can't bring it up. Can't bring it up. I should do that before like any raid. Like when we play Crowfall, I'll jump up onto a rock and I'll start reciting that speech and vent before we go attack something. No, you're not game for that?
No, I'm just really glad that you're not going into vent saying I can't get it up. I can't get it up.
Anyways, moving on. Quick mentions. Guild Wars 2 beta testing is getting going on May 26th. We're going to do something. So keep an eye out. We'll be streaming some stuff. I know the only window I'll be able to make is the 7:30 to 9:30 Pacific time one. So I'll definitely be doing something then. We might get something out. There's a couple of other windows throughout the day as well where the server is going to be up. So look for our stuff on Tuesday, May 26th. It's going to be cool. Revenant. Play some Revenant. It's going to be fun. The Repopulation has unveiled a new trailer. Now, Bill, we were talking about this before the show started. You were saying this reminds you, in a good way, of Anarchy Online.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it after I said that, and I can't even say why specifically. Just it had a vibe to it of the original launch Anarchy Online, and like I said, not the crashing every 10 minutes vibe, but just the way the game. I don't know, maybe the way the Plymouth City thing scaled in front of everybody or something like that, but it just felt like Anarchy Online, and for you it felt like a different game.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies, which are both very, very similar aesthetically, like just shapes and animations as well. They come from the same era, right? And so those two games I thought were very, very similar aesthetically and animation wise, because there wasn't that much choice at that time, right? And so, yeah, I definitely have that, like an updated version of that.
Yeah.
And this is the Repopulation is in many ways the spiritual successor to Star Wars Galaxies. I know that every time something comes out for the Repopulation, if we don't mention it, we have several listeners will send us messages about it. Every time something comes out, it's just something that there's a lot of people that are really excited about the possibilities for this game. And that's kind of cool. I think it's going to find a really, really good niche of some really interested players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm repopulation curious. So, and for those of you that are also curious, there was some news. I believe I can't remember if it was this week or last week, but they're unofficially, officially targeting Q4 of this year for the release of the Repopulation. So maybe a Christmas title or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, that's going to be fun. EQ is going to try a progression server again. They tried it before, didn't go so well, and now they're gonna try it again. Now, I am gonna play this trailer here for just a second because I think you're going to agree with me, Bill, that this is something that needs to be heard. Would you say, rather than just?
Oh, yep.
Okay, so here we go. Take a listen. There you go. So yeah, Bill, why don't you talk about this one?
I just really quick. I mean, they're taking another run at the progression server after the first one melted into a pile of goo. It's the trailer that they've attached to this it's nostalgic, which is funny for me because I never even played EverQuest back in the day, but it just looks nostalgic. It could be a lot of fun. If you're an EverQuest person, this could be this original progression server style could be interesting. Now I'm noticing though, and I think we talked about this really briefly before the show as well, that it feels like there's a lot of people bringing this up for a lot of games that have been around for a long time. The notion of setting up a progression server. There's been a lot of talk about World of Warcraft doing that, going to vanilla WoW and or having a vanilla WoW server that slowly progresses through the time. And what was the other one? I read another story about Lineage 2 doing something similar.
Yeah.
Is this? What do you think? What do you think's going on here? Like, is this just the whole recycling of content that we see?
We saw this
everything?
we see this with movies. Why not with games?
Yeah.
Movies, TV shows. Hey, they're coming out with Fuller House, which is going to be rebooting Full House. There's a new Fantastic Four movie coming out. So yeah, it is completely. That's what it is. I have played a chunk of EQ for a while when Josh, who does Happy Hearthstone and stuff, when we left PC Gamer and he went to work for Sony Online, which is now Daybreak, and he was on EQ. I jumped in right away and I played a bunch of EQ then at that time, and I gotta say, It was painful. It kind of hurt. I had to unlearn how to play because a lot of the conveniences that are in games now just were not in there at all. So it was a little tough.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want some nostalgia, if you played some EQ, go check it out. It'll be fun. All right, and last but not least, a new PvMP map coming to Lotro soon. This is going to be Osgiliath. They're going to build it around. Now, I know that there was some discussion. What was our first year at PAX, Bill? 6 years ago?
Oh.
There was back
Is it
then.
6 now? Jeez.
There was some discussion about possibly having a new PvMP map coming out then. There was some rumblings from people that came to our party about that. Never did happen.
Well, you have to appreciate Lotro is now what? I think they're just coming up to their 8th anniversary.
Yeah.
And there is a chunk of people that play Lotro, and the only thing they do is PvMP. Now, they've had precisely one map for 8 years.
Yep.
To PvMP on. And it's just, for those of you that know, well, if you know Lotro, then you know what it's like. But for those of you that don't know Lotro, it's basically like the equivalent of one zone. It's tiny. You can run across it in 10 minutes. And think that that's the only map that you play for 8 years.
Yep.
This is kind of a big deal.
I agree. I'm really excited. I think I will. Well, I don't think I'm definitely going to jump back into PvP, PvMP to try it out because it's Osgiliath. That's going to be fun. I hope that they do take a similar style of meta game to it. I hope they don't decide to go completely different. It'd be nice to have a similar game where the rules are basically the same, but it changes all the dynamics by changing the map, right? Because I don't think it's going to fly if they do it completely different. People are too entrenched in PvMP.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost at the point now where any kind of you have to be really careful with any change that you do.
Yeah.
Because now you've got it's almost tradition the way it is now.
Correct. I agree with you wholeheartedly. All right, Bill, that's our show. Why don't you tell people how they can contact us if they'd like to?
Well, there's a whole bunch of ways that people can contact us. You can check out our website, MMOreporter.com, which is the central hub for the entire MMO Reporter network, and probably a great place to find links to the Lotro Reporter podcast, which is going to talk about that PvMP map in way more depth than we did. You can send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/MMO Reporter. You can tweet at any of the MMO reporters, either at MMO_reporter for Chris, at MMO Bill for yours truly, and for the in absentia MMO reporters, you can get at Harry Hall or at Leonor. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778 to leave us a voicemail that we would just love to play on the show. Tell us your thoughts on PvMP and Lotro. Why not? I'm curious to see how this is going to go. You can check us out on Zerg ID. We've got profiles set up, although mine is going stale pretty quick. I still like Zerg ID. I think it's a cool idea. But Zerg ID, I'm Woe, W-E-A-U-X on Zerg ID. Chris is Almazar, and Leonor is predictably Leonor. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/MMO Reporter Network. And finally, if you're looking for a way to help keep the MMO Reporter Network alive in terms of currency, you can head over to MMOReporter.com/support for a bunch of different ways, including a link to our Patreon account. If you're more of a one-time donation kind of person, you can do that as well, or you can just happily keep listening, because we do that too. We've been doing it now for about 8,000 years, I think.
Yes.
8,000? Maybe 7,000.
7,999.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get the intern on it. They'll figure it out.
That's right. Steve, get going. Steve, get to work. All right, Bill. Sorry about that. Bill, if you were going to have a great time on a podcast, which podcast would you have a great time on?
Oh, besides this one? I don't know. That's a hard question.
I meant this one because I had a great time, Bill.
Yeah. In that case, that's easy. This one.
Yeah, it was fun, Bill.
First choice. My first and second choice.
And thanks to our wonderful chat room, too. You were pretty awesome, too. They were nice.
Yes. Thanks for keeping us honest.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, thanks to everyone who downloads the podcast week after week. We sure appreciate it. Go check us out. You can even leave us a review on iTunes if you'd like. We really appreciate you downloading the show week after week. We hope that you download it again next week. But, of course, most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little...
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOReporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOReporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.